Hi everyone. So I'm doing the front of my cardigan and I'm going to have a go at inserting some pockets. So I thought I'd show you an easy way that I remember doing them a very long time ago when I made my Starskin Hutch cardigan with pockets, a shawl collar and a self-tie belt. So it's been a long time. So you can make the insert any size you like. Usually you just sort of put your hand and measure how long you want it, depending on how deep you want it. And I'm going to do a little rib cuff at the top, so we can pretend I can get almost my hand in here. And you can make it as wide as your hand. I'm not going to walk around with my hands in my pockets, so I don't really need my thumbs in there. So I've made myself a couple of little inserts and left a bit of a tail, and I have put it onto here just to hold it. Now you can insert it in the middle, or you can insert it, this is where my button band is going to go, and I've decided I'm going to knit 15 stitches in and then I'll have it in. Now I'm not doing a patch cardigan, it's going to be on the back, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But first of all, I need to put all these stitches back onto a cable needle, or you might call them double pointed needles, and the new cable needles have a bit of a V shape in them. But I just have these from a long time ago, and most of the things I have belong to my mum, who passed away a long time ago, and so I inherited her needles and her stitch holders. That's what we call these big pins, stitch holders. I'm very slow when I do things with my left hand. I should have done this before I started, shouldn't I? Let's just push it a bit further up. So the lighting's not very good today, it's quite cloudy, so I decided to use a white towel as a background, so I hope it's not glary. Plus I've got a lamp going. So let's hope I don't get through all this and then find it's too dark for you to see what I was doing. There you go. I've put them all onto this stitch holder, and these are the, I don't know if you can still buy these today, but you might want to look in second-hand shops. They are just so handy. So I have 22 stitches along here, so I'm going to remove 22 stitches on my cardigan. So I'm going to show you how easy this is. So I'm just going to do 15 stitches. Why 15? No reason. I'm just going to, and it's quite hard on the table doing this, so I actually need smaller needles. But I just decided just a little bit in from the button band. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but I'm just going to have a look at that, 12 or 15. Maybe I'll just do 12. We'll see what that looks like, or will I regret it? 13, 14, 15, it's only another few. I'm going to leave it at 12. So there you go. So I've got one of these again, and I'm now going to take off 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, move them down a bit, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Make sure you don't drop any, and I'll just move that back. So I'm just going to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 to 22. Let's check. I'm sure I have 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Whew, that's lucky. So I'm going to leave this at the front, and yes, I had to join my yarn here, so please just ignore that. So the yarn I'm using, if you think it's really pretty, is Sierra from Patterns, and the colour I'm using is 0841. It's just got the colour there, it doesn't have a name. So it's coming up really pretty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, you can hold it at the back or the front, it doesn't matter, you're going to flip it through. Then I'm going to, not that one, make sure you're going to use the yarn that is actually your working yarn, not the yarn that comes off your little pocket insert. And I'm just going to start knitting those. So I've got my stocking stitch side up, so I've looked on YouTube for other tutorials, and most of them are little patch pockets, or they just, sometimes things are just so complicated, and this is the way I remember doing it, and it was so easy. So I'm having fun making these cardigans. I'm just doing oblongs for the back and oblongs for the two fronts and oblongs for the sleeve. Oh, and I'll do a bit of decreasing on the sleeves, but it's all guesswork. I'm not using a pattern. Just don't deliberately like making things difficult for myself, but I'm not using a pattern, just measuring my body. So there you go, you've got your original stitches here, and I did 12. Then I've put my insert in. I'm going to hold it at the back because it's just easier for me, and then I pick up my other needle, ignoring this thing here. It does get out of the way the further along you knit, so it seems a bit awkward at first. Make sure you're using your working yarn again, of course, because it's down the other end. And I'm just going to continue knitting. So maybe those cable needles would be a good idea to put your stitches on. They might not come off, and it might be a bit smaller than this pin, but the pin works for me. And of course, if you're doing a special pattern, you just make sure that you continue in the pattern. But I thought, while I'm doing pockets, that seems complicated enough, I'll just keep it stocking stitch. Just move it down a bit. And so now you can get the idea that here's my nice little pocket, and later on when I finish the front, I'll come back, put these stitches onto a needle, and I'm going to just do a little bit of rib at the top, and then at the back you'll just sew it down. But I can show you that when I get to that stage. And on the back, I made sure that when I decided to add this at the top here, that it just comes down without any stretching, that it just comes down to where it meets up with the rib. And then I'll just very gently use a bit of yarn and hand sew all around these three sides. And if you just do it gently, you won't end up with being able to actually see where you're sewing it. So there you go, that's how you insert your pocket. And so now I'll just continue with my purl row, and I'll come back, and you just ignore this, you just keep on finishing your front. So I hope that gives you the idea of how to do it in a simple way. Let me know if this video has helped you. Okay, bye.